we're not getting anything on the right side.
Okay, try this.
All right, no, still nothing. Very near.
Then it must be something wrong with the headset.
Yeah, just only when I speak does it come out on the right side, huh? Okay, well, again, will that be able to be okay? Okay, that's fine. All right, we're going to head out. Back up. Let me know when we're ready to come in.
All right, we got 4 minutes.
Okay.
I know that look you're giving, like
Testing.
you got something to
Testing.
prove.
Testing.
I have walked
Testing
for
sound.
miles
Can you
and
hear me,
miles.
Coach?
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Oh, yeah,
I can
that's
hear
good.
both of y'all.
Who's forgiveness, like it's something to be earned. Sometimes pain's the only way that we can learn.
How is Chloe liking her new adventure? You ignoring me?
You can change who you are. You believe in freedom, but you don't know how to. You gotta step out of your feelings that you're so afraid to. And every day, you put your feet on the floor. You gotta walk through the door. It's never gonna be easy, but it's all worth fighting for. You can never fall too high, so fast, so far that you can't get back. When you're lost, where you are, it's never too late. So bad, so much that you can't change who you are. You can take who you are. So let the ashes fall wherever they land. Come back from wherever you've been. To the foot of the cross. To the feet of Jesus. The feet of Jesus. You can never fall too high.
You have 2 minutes.
You are never too late. So bad, so much that you can't change. You can never fall too high. So bad, so far that you can't get back. When you are where you are, never too late. So bad, so much that you can't change. At the foot of the cross, you change it. You can change.
1 minute.
CP, funky.
104.3 The Bridge and Buckets in Pineville presents The Kevin Cook Show. Tonight, live from Buckets, we're talking Tioga Indian Football. And it's brought to you by Certified Transmission, Whataburger, Fixin', Sinlaw Power Wash, Real Deal Marine, Outlaws Barbecue, First South Farm Credit, Southern Heritage Bank, Louisiana Iron Laser, Triple T Tire, Lower Power Sports, Security Sporting Goods, and BK Distributors. And now, live from Buckets, here's Scott Mills and Billy French.
Welcome everybody here to beautiful Buckets here in Pineville. I am Billy French. No Scott Mills here tonight. Scott is out. So it'll just be Billy, myself, and Coach Cook. Having a few little technical difficulties on on the feed, but I think we got it taken care of. Thank you to Chuck Perkins for kind of coming in to help with the production side of it. We'd be lost without Chuck. He's my go-to guy for a while now here with 446 Sports for sure. If I wouldn't be able to do anything without Chuck. But Coach Kevin Cook here, Coach. We had a tough game Friday night, and it's been the story pretty much all year. It's just been we were just talking off the air, the gauntlet that we have faced weeks 1 through 5, and just powerhouse after powerhouse after powerhouse, and Tioga just hanging tough, keeping most games very, very close. Aside from that Manny game that kind of got out of hand a little bit, in the second half, the defense has been very, very tough, and it's just been close games. It
has been. It's just been one 4-quarter game after another. The guys are hanging in there and giving 100%. And, we've come up a few plays short. When you really go back and look at the first 5 weeks outside of maybe the one game, in 4 of those games, you could probably name 4 plays that make the game go the other direction.
Right, and I kind of did a little stats on myself pregame here. Your 5 opponents that you have faced: Como, Bird, Pineville, Manny, Gina. Combined record of 17-8. So aside from Pineville is the only team under 500. Como right now, which Como has got a great team this year. They've been lower in that 5A, but this year they've been very good. They're 3-2. Bird 4-1. Pineville is the only team, like I said, under 500. Manny 4-1, and Algina 4-1. So, the teams that we have faced are very, very, very good teams. But it's not just this year. They're strong, and they've got a great coaching staff that has built the program very similar to what you have done since you come over here. And so the 1-4 record is not what everybody, of course, immediately everybody goes to the record. Correct. But they did not everybody. If you haven't followed this game with this team of Tioga, man, these young men are tough and battle tested going into this.
Well, our kids have played very tough, and on all 3 phases of the game. We talk a lot about defense because they've really done an outstanding job. But, our guys on offense are working hard too, and special teams are working hard every single week. And that's what I love about our kids. They're going to do it. They're going to do it for 4 quarters, the best that they possibly can. And, we want them to understand that they have to take pride in being Tioga tough. Right. It's not just a regular toughness. It's Tioga toughness, and that's what we are. And that's what we want to try to preach to these guys because it's going to pay off. It's really an investment. These first 5 games are all really investment games to prepare you for, district play.
It's been, we jokingly call it Murderer's Row because it's just powerhouse after powerhouse. I think it was 3 5A teams in a row to start off. Then you drop down to the number 1 team in 2A who just got ranked bumped up to number 1, which we thought they would be anyways in Manny. And now Gina's in the top 5 in 3A. Right. Just powerhouse. So, and then this week, which we'll talk about here later on into the show, how we're coming into now finally district play, some familiar foes with Peabody coming up in the game. But it's been, to me, it's just been a pleasure to watch, as far as how the coaching staff and yourself has made and you've had to make so many adjustments. This has been an odd year. Last year, the COVID year was odd. Everybody had to suffer last year with the COVID season, and we were the only team that had a full schedule. Yeah,
that's what was funny. Everybody went through the pandemic, and I heard of all these horror stories. Well, we never had a problem.
Right.
We never lost a kid to COVID. We never lost a kid. We lost Big Amory for a week or 2 from contact tracing. But that was I think he was literally the only person that we lost to contact tracing. And like you said, we ended up into an agreement to not play the one game, but it wasn't because we couldn't play it. So we ended up getting to play a full schedule. And then you come into this year and you're thinking everything's fine. And the head coach is missing for almost 3 weeks.
Right off the bat, huh?
Right off the bat. And then it's just been strike after strike. We're 13 kids down from where we started at this point, and unfortunately, they're not. It's not like they're injured and coming back. We do have one guy on injured reserve who goes to the doctor Friday, so we're hoping to get him back.
Yeah, and so there's a chance that he might play Friday night, or is it kind of you might give him another week?
I would say no. I don't think there's a chance that he plays Friday, but it'd just be nice on Friday if they said, look, you're ready to go.
Yeah, so,
and then on Monday we know that he is ready to go and kind of start incorporating him back in.
Right, and it's sad. It's not a running joke, but it's something that first thing I say to you when you sit down pregame before we even talk, I was like, any news going on this week? It's just one thing after another.
It has been that way this year.
Well, we appreciate everything, and again, we're over here at Buckets. This is the Kevin Cook Show, and this is our first season of doing this, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it, Coach. I hope you have as well. Sure. We get a lot of these young men a chance to come in there and kind of spotlight what they do. Tonight is wide receiver night.
That's right.
So we're going to have a few of the wide receivers. We're going to also have Coach Dufour come in here later on into the show. But let's talk a little bit about last week's game at Gina, Coach. The home game, very, very tough Gina team. We knew that coming in. Coach Rourke over there is just phenomenal, everything that they do. There's some big – corn-fed, as they said, some country boys can play some football.
Very large individuals over there. I noticed that they brought their own water. And I said, Coach, you brought your own water? He said, yes, sir. I said, well, so you don't need to fill your buckets? He said, no. I said, well, I wouldn't fill them with our water either. I had those big monsters over there, but he's a fun guy to, kind of go back and forth with and enjoy. We've had – every year we've played, I think, has been an extremely tight ball game. Now, the Mud Bowl last year, I think in the second half might have been a little bit different than what we're used to. But, we've had one score match in 15, a double overtime at 16. We took a little break there, and then, the last couple of years has come down just like Friday night has.
Yeah, and the first year you were here when we played, that was my son's junior year, that first year. And I remember it was a magical season that year where we started off with Gina. I think Gina was the first game we went into overtime there and pulled away. I think we ended up finished in that year starting out like 5-0 or something going into that. And so Gina's always in my mind because we were at Gina when that happened, I believe, and it was a fantastic game. And in my mind, thinking back, I was like, man, that's a well-coached team over there. They just got everything running smooth and not a lot to do in Gina. There's not a whole lot, and they're a big football
town.
Yeah, they love their football.
Great football town over there, and they do it. Like you said, what I like about Coach Rourke is he's a very classy man. He's going to play by the rules. He's going to do everything the right way. These kids are going to be disciplined. They're not going to be a lot of pushing and shoving or inappropriate stuff after the whistle because he's not going to tolerate it like we don't tolerate it. And those are the kind of people you don't mind standing across the field from. Right. You might. And it's hard to find nowadays in 2020s in high school football.
I believe it, absolutely believe it. And going back, the 14-7 loss, of course, to Gina. Tell us about some things, because you always look back and you're like, well, here's some good things, and then there was, of course, maybe a couple bonehead plays or something that we just missed, a missed tackle or missed position on or anything. Kind of give us a few of the highlights of some good things that you saw coming out of Friday night's loss.
Well, I thought we tackled well. I thought that our tackling was better. We missed fewer tackles. I thought that overall, obviously, we know that our defense did an outstanding job. There were opportunities where in the red zone there for Gina that they weren't able to capitalize on. And so we give those guys a lot of thanks for that, and our defensive coordinator players, that is. Offensively, we moved the ball well. We go down and score, and I thought, okay, we're opening this thing up a little bit, and we're going to get some more points on the scoreboard, and then we had a lot of good drives, getting down in. But once we get into the 30, we stall out, and to Gina's credit, they play good defense, and then we make we make a mistake or two that hurts us. But I thought at the end of the day, and in all of our phases, we had a low snap, and we get another shot at the field goal, but. That would have made some differences too. But there's some good and bad things that happen. Those are the kind of – when you see a score that's a one-score ball game, like you're going to be able to find a whole lot of things that could have teetered the other way.
Right. And that's been the story of all year. I mean, every game, aside from the Manny second half, but the defense, of course, and we keep going back to the defense, but the defense have kind of set the tone, and it's kind of been like a makeshift defense. Me personally, not knowing exactly who's going to come out there from week to week. I mean, we open up the first game against Como, 3-man rush, 3-man front, and it blew my mind. I was like, wow, we just got 3 guys. Next week, you got an almost entire different defensive line in week 2, and then you're 5 and 6 running the box. So being able to do everything that they do in the mixed match, the coaching staff has done a great job. Coach Muter, defensive coordinator, has done a great job. We can always hear him in the press box. He's very, very animated, which we love. Coach Muter. I love the passion that comes from him. But on the defensive side, keeping us in a lot of ball games, and that's been a thing that going to the offense, Coach. Inside the 20s has been we've been able to move the ball all year very, very well, but we just kind of having a hard time just punching it in and
our red zone offense in particular, is not obviously where we want it to be right now. I think though that our coaching staff and our kids, I know that they're working harder than they ever have.
Oh, no
This
doubt.
is my 7th year there, and I know that they're working harder than they ever have on both the sets of individuals, the coaches and the players, and so hopefully that hard work will pay off this Friday.
Oh, no doubt. And we're going to take a break here in a few minutes, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about Peabody. So just stay tuned. If you can watch us here, we have us on 104.3 The Bridge. I am Billy French alongside Coach Kevin Cook, and we'll be right back after these messages.
In Pineville and be amazed at everything Real Deal Marine has to offer. Locally owned and operated, Real Deal Marine is proud supporters of local high school sports in central Louisiana. You can reach us at 318-487-4886 or follow us on our Facebook page. When you think of marine dealerships, the only name that should come to mind is Real Deal Marine.
One tires, they got them. Triple T Tire in Pineville is the place to go for all size tires. That's right, everything from lawnmowers, four-wheelers, ATVs, cars, trucks, and 18-wheelers. They've got them all. Get on down to 3786 Old Marshville Highway in Pineville or call them at 318-487-2012. Triple T Tires are proud supporters of local high school football. So for a limited time, say the keyword football when you get there and get $10 off any size tire mounts. Triple T Tires, home of those sexy tires. So, your transmission is kaput. Time to get a new or new-to-you vehicle? Wrong. Certified Transmission can fix your transmission problems and preserve your investment in your vehicle. Certified Transmission will also save you the hassle of trying to find a good vehicle that you can afford without a good trade-in, because most car dealers are not going to want to accept your vehicle in trade. So, having Certified Transmission fix your vehicle is the best option of getting back on the road in a vehicle you can trust. Go where you know. Certified Transmission on the Monroe Highway in Ball. Did you know BK Distributors have the fastest signs in town? They have signs for everything. If you're in need of signs or banners for your political campaign, your business, or just for that family reunion, BK Distributors has it all, with outstanding quality, fast turnaround, and the best prices in town. If you've been looking for the right place to handle your signage needs, well, here's your sign. Call Scott today, 318-442-2246, and let him help you. BK Distributors, Highway 28 East in Pineville, behind Arby's. Security Sporting Goods, proud supporter of all area high school football teams. If you looking for hunting stuff from
1 minute.
they got it all at Security Sporting Goods. They talking about camo brands like Drake, Bandit, and Nomad, handguns, rifles, shotguns, ammo, knives. Security Sporting Goods, Memorial Drive, Alexandria. Proud supporter of area high school football. If you were looking for the best seafood in central Louisiana, then look no further than Buckets Crawfish and Seafood Restaurant, 111 Mary Hill Road in Pineville, right behind Chevron in Kingsville. Have you tried the seafood, Monica? What about the famous crawfish stingers? You can't go wrong with anything on the menu at Buckets in Pineville. Did I mention they're locally owned and operated? Not only do they have amazing food, but the atmosphere in the restaurant makes you feel comfortable as soon as you walk in the door. Need an order to go? 704-6186. Buckets Crawfish and Seafood Restaurant in Pineville.
Welcome back, everybody. Here I am, Billy French, alongside Coach Kevin Cook. This is the Kevin Cook Coaches Show here live from Buckets. And I'm telling you, if you hadn't had Buckets, you need to come definitely try it out. Their food to allow us to come in here week to week. And yes. We hope to bring some more Tioga people in. We got a little full house here in the room, which everybody can be a little loud if you want to hear. You know, that welcome Tioga people. There they are. Come in, support every week, and we appreciate that, of course. And then, of course, we got a few sitting out there. They don't want to be too loud. Some of them told us out there. But, yeah, come pack the house on every Tuesday night from 6 to 7. We'll be here for Kevin Cook Coach's show. Next year, Coach, I think we're going to move it to 6:30. That way it give you a little bit of time from practice to give you a few minutes to come get over here, and that way you're not rushing too much. But going into the second segment here, Coach, we're going to be talking about this Friday night's game, and which is going to be district play. We kick off district play, finally be able to play some familiar foes from our district. Of course, we're going to be playing Peabody. The 0-5 record that they're bringing to the house is very it's not an easy markup by any means. You're expecting a very, very good. Coach Hall is a phenomenal coach. Got a lot of Tioga ties. This Coach Hall here. Back in my days of being at Tioga, he was my football coach. But still, 20 years later, still doing what he loves. And tell us a little about what to expect, what you're going to see from this Peabody Warhorse team.
Well, I mean, the immediate thing that you think about when you think about the Warhorses right now is one of the best running backs in this area, if not the best running back in this area. And I don't want to take anything away from our running backs or any other kids, but he's had a ton more experience.
Right.
He is extremely dangerous individual with football in his hand. And, what makes him dangerous is his feet will not stop moving. And they just move so fast. Yeah. And once he gets out in the open, you are not catching him. You better have a great angle or a big head start. Yeah. So that will be the name of the game for our defense, is to keep him under wraps. And we know that realistically he's going to pop one. I mean, he's a great athlete, and they're gonna do a great job coaching over there and trying to get him out into space. It's just a matter of trying to wrap him up in that space. But on the other side of the ball, for us offensively, as we spoke about earlier, our goals is to keep doing what we've been doing. That's been able to put together drives and to just be more efficient in the red zone play. I do feel like, if it came down to special teams, I feel like our special teams are pretty good.
No doubt.
I think we've only had one blunder on the year in all of our special teams, and so I don't want to jinx those guys up. But at the end of the day, I'm proud of them for what they've done. Coach Tripp's done an outstanding job with our special teams coordinator. And so I feel like that we may have a slight edge there. And it may come down to that slight edge. Like you said, you're playing a Warhorse team. Is their homecoming? They're going to be fired up. I don't blame them. The turkey legs will be getting barbecued over there.
I've already put one in for an order. You got to have a turkey. If you go to Peabody, if you don't get a turkey leg, something's wrong.
Correct. I've never gotten to get one.
Well, because you're always coaching.
Because I'm always coaching. But one of these days, I'm going to hit one of their Thursday or Saturday night games, and I'm going to go get me one of them turkey legs. That's my goal before I retire.
We're going to make sure that happens. Even if I got to get one extra for you and give it to you after the game, but hopefully with a big W with it. But going in, Coach Hall is going to have that mindset. Like you said, he knows what he's good at, and that's going to be running the ball. That's their strength.
Yes.
Basically, Peabody's motto is, I'm going to shove it down your throat, stop it. That's basically, and if you can do that, it's going to be a very successful night.
Right.
If you don't, now, you've seen some fantastic running backs already this year. Yeah. Williams from Manny, and of course James was the sophomore. We've seen a little bit of him, but Williams had 5 touchdowns. He's quite not there, but he's not far off. He don't have the offensive line that Manny has.
Yeah, I think if you saw their running back, just at a camp compared to other running backs, you wouldn't pull him aside and say, well, he doesn't belong. No, he belongs in the category of the names that we're talking about.
Correct, yes.
And rightfully so. And from everything I've ever heard about him, he's an outstanding young man. But, Coach Hall, that's the kind of guy Coach Hall is, and that's the kind of guys he's going to have around him. He's going to have quality people around him. I think the world of Coach Hall. He is literally one of my favorite people in this business.
Great man,
and
yes.
His character, is really spotless. And so it'll be a good night. It'll be a great game. I think it'll be a very close football game. I don't look for either one of us to, well, hopefully, on our end, we'll be able to stay in there and I don't think either one of us is going to pull real far away from the other.
Yeah, and like I said, he's just going to, his name's Arthur Lavallee, for those listening at home. Very, very famous last name there. There's been some Lavallées around Central Louisiana.
I thought about changing my last name to
I'm
Lavallee
telling you, and from what I've heard, he is related to the Lavallee that played for the Falcons, that went to LSU and played for the Atlanta Falcons. But, of course, you got some Lavallées out in the Marksville area as well, which is,
very popular name
very popular in Bowles Parish, which, you're very familiar with being at Bunkie. But so we know what they're going to do. Now, as far as our offense, like you said, you touched down, you want to try to get some more goal line presence, a little bit better, more efficient on that aspect. Tell us, what's the mindset? Are we going to be able to pass more, against this Peabody team? Or, how is their secondary on the defensive side?
The Peabody secondary, they're going to play a lot like Manny's defense, to be honest with you. They're going to come get you up front, and they're going to play man behind it and, say we're going to get there before you get it off. So, and that's the same concept that they use over at Manny. So we're going to try to do some things this week that will allow us a little extra time. And then, but we like some of our matchups.
Yeah.
We like our receivers. We think they're very good, and we have a lot of faith in Gabe. So it's just a matter of schematically coming up with the process that's going to allow us to get the ball into those guys' hands.
Right. Enough time for Gabe, and something that I've got to watch all year is, and I've enjoyed with Gabe, he rolls out to the opposite side and is very, very, efficient on rolling out to the opposite side, which I think we've talked about this before. Just super impressed with that. The receiving core you got with Kobe Tillman, you got Bardwell, you got Johnson, and you got so many great Lloyd, you got so many great wide receivers. I know it's tough to get everybody a chance to get some looks at, and of course to give them some open space. But how do y'all design on your plans? Are you more of a first read type deal, or do you have individual plays? Not to give anything away by any means to Peabody, but do you have certain matchups that you see and you'd be like, look, we want to make sure that we get the ball to Michael Johnson right now in this specific area?
Yeah, we always have opportunities to get a kid a certain matchup where we feel like we can have a little easier access to getting him the football. But, and then you have your other concepts that are read progressions. And so it may be that this guy's open this time, but he may not be open the next time. It may be the exact same, concept. So it really changes week to week, and then obviously a lot of times changes at halftime or in the process of the game.
On what's successful,
they study film too,
right?
And so you got to give people credit for coaching well and studying the film and taking away what you feel like that you're capable of or good at, and then making you do something else. And that's the name of the game on defense. That's what everybody on defense wants to do. Get you uncomfortable and take away your bread and butter.
Right.
The good thing about in the passing game is most of the time your passing game, we've been blessed to be diversified enough to where we can manipulate that to, once you do one thing, we'll just move our little chess piece over here.
Well, being that it is a district game and it's not very far away, what's kind of the we deal with this every year. Of course, we traveled beginning of the year down to Lafayette, then we've gone up to Shreveport, and then we've gone to Manny. What's the change of pace a little bit? It's nice to have a visit, going on an away game, but you're just going right across the river. So kind of give us a rundown on what kind of game plan did y'all have for travel-wise, going into these kind of games?
Well, we were talking about this the other day. Actually, we're so used to this year when we travel having to, get out of class early and stop off here along the way to eat, and then stop off here to do a walkthrough, and then you're calling other schools, can we borrow your football field? And all those guys are great, by the way. Most everybody Calvary let us stop off at their place. And quite frankly, we only know one guy over there, but the head coach is like, hey, if that's y'all's friends, tell them to come on. It's a home game. They had a home game that day.
Wow.
They had a pep rally going on while we were there. So our kids thought they were cheering for them. I was like, no, they don't know you. So
no, you just go practice.
No, you just go out to the field. But everybody's very accommodating as a rule. Coaches are actually really great people for the most part. But this week, you're only just driving across town. Mm-hmm. So we're looking at it like, man, this is great. We don't have to get out of class. We don't have to bother worried about did this kid make up his test or whatever. It's just you get to the field house when school's over, and we'll pull the bus out at 5.
Yeah,
So.
and that's nice. I mean, it's such a nice thing to have because, then, of course, Bolton's the same deal when we do play at Bolton, which I guess would be next year. It's the same type of atmosphere. You get to relax a little bit. You're not having to make that long trek. It's only a 15-minute drive in a bus with the windows down and be able to.
Well, that's the thing. The buses, they have those 2 air conditioners on them, but they don't work.
Yeah, it never. That's been that way forever. You're not. It's all show. It's always been just for show.
It is just for show, and I've never understood why we can put people on the moon. We can send rockets to other planets or whatever, but we cannot get a school bus air conditioner to cool the school bus.
I think that's just written in the bylaw. It's the unwritten rules of football, Coach.
I swear there's nothing in there but a white box. Every time I look at it, I'm just like, that box is empty. There's no compressor or nothing.
Let me ask you one final thing before we take a break going into this. And tell me, what have you done to prepare? This is going to be a great atmosphere tonight. It's going to be Friday night, excuse me. It's going to be, like you said, it is homecoming. But I personally love going to play at Peabody because it is wild and it is rocking, and I like that. It gets you motivated. So, what kind of preparation has you guys? I mean, has there been anything different that we've done to prepare for something like that?
I mean, I think about where we've been. Okay, we've been on the long bus ride to Como. All right, we played at Independence Stadium.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yep.
Yes, in the Battle of the Border. And then, we played at Manny. So we're not going to see anything different over there. It's not going to be any more people than we played in front of. But it is a really fun place to play when it's their homecoming in particular because they are going to be rocking. And, that's what you want. Like, that's what you sign up for. You don't sign up to play in front of 100 people.
Right.
You sign up to play in front of a packed stadium and where everybody's pumped up and excited. And that's exactly what it'll be.
Yeah, well, we're really looking forward to this Friday night. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with Coach Dufour and the wide receivers. They're going to come over here in just a few minutes. But we'll be right back after this break on 104.3 The Bridge. This is the Kevin Cook Coaches Show.
Lower Power Sports Parts Department has the parts and accessories you need to keep your engines running. With 12,000 square feet and over 100,000 part numbers in stock, we strive to have what you're looking for at the lower price, whether it's blades, bars, batteries, or tires. Our friendly parts associates are here to help in store, over the phone, or online at lowerpowersports.com. Shop local, pay the lower price at Lower Power Sports on Coliseum Boulevard in Alexandria.
Mom, Dad, the magician's here. Magician?
Oh, yeah. Honey, the magician's here.
Oh, right. Can I go watch? Sure.
Hi, Jimmy. Are you ready?
Boy, am I.
Okay. See that dirt, grime, and residue?
Yep.
Now you see it? No, you don't.
Wow, amazing.
Finla Power Wash. We offer house washing, shingle roof washing, and commercial washing services. Call 318-446-0838.
Whether you're cheering for the Saints on Sunday, your college team on Saturday, or your local high school heroes on Friday night, Outlaws Barbecue is your game day headquarters. Before the game, call ahead and they'll have your tailgate order ready. During the game, Outlaws Barbecue has the game on. Come watch with your family and friends. After the game, Outlaws Barbecue has room for your team to celebrate. Before, during, and after the big game, Outlaws Barbecue is your game day headquarters. You make the winning call for your team with 2 locations, 318-443-8723 in Alexandria and 318-640-4756 in Pineville.
Security Sporting Goods, proud supporter of all area high school football teams. If you're looking for hunting stuff from ammo to camo, they got it all at Security Sporting Goods. They talking about camo brands like Drake, Bandit, and Nomad, handguns, rifles, shotguns, ammo, knives. Security Sporting Goods, Memorial Drive, Alexandria. Proud supporter of area high school football.
Real Deal Marine in Pineville is Louisiana's #1 spot for all your boating needs. Come on down to 1715 Monroe Highway in Pineville and be amazed at everything Real Deal Marine has to offer. Locally owned and operated, Real Deal Marine is proud supporters of local high school sports in Central Louisiana. You can reach us at 318-487-4886 or follow us on our Facebook page. When you think of marine dealerships, the only name that should come to mind is Real Deal Marine.
So, your transmission is kaput. Time to get a new or new-to-you vehicle? Wrong. Certified Transmission can fix your transmission problems and preserve your investment in your vehicle. Certified Transmission will also save you the hassle of trying to find a good vehicle that you can afford without a good trade-in, because most car dealers are not going to want to accept your vehicle in trade. So having Certified Transmission fix your vehicle is the best option of getting back on the road in a vehicle you can trust. Go where you know. Certified Transmission on the Monroe Highway in Ball.
Welcome back, everybody, here to Buckets in Pineville, Louisiana, Buckets Seafood, and this is the Kevin Cook Coaches Show. My name is Billy French. I am here with Coach Kevin Cook and, of course, Coach Noah Dufour, the wide receivers coach for Tioga, and we've got a big matchup this weekend, Coach, against Peabody. So if you would, kind of give us an idea of what y'all kind of been preparing. Of course, Coach had already mentioned a little bit about the secondary at Peabody, so what to expect. And then after you get done with that, if you could introduce who you brought with you today. Make sure we got it on there. All right. Good to go. Go ahead.
Yeah, this week we've been focusing on just trying to get our players in space, giving every player an opportunity to make the best of their abilities. We have a lot of great athletes. Josh Lloyd, Kobe Tillman, Josh Bardwell, Michael Johnson, and even unsung guys like Ryan Reeves and some guys coming off, Donald Turner, Jeremiah Caldwell. Just getting a lot of those guys in space, letting them work, letting their abilities show out. Just trying to make sure that we finish drives. I know last week we were driving on some drives and we just couldn't finish. And so that's a big point of emphasis this week is finishing out drives, making sure that we take those opportunities, those long drives that we're using the clock and finishing, putting up 7 points and giving our defense a chance to shine like they've been doing all year.
Absolutely, and wide receiver core is very, very deep on this Tioga team, one of the strong points on this team. And Coach and I had talked about earlier about inside the 20s has been fantastic, and, of course, just being able to punch it in. We've had a few hiccups here and there. But tell us who you got with you tonight. I know, some of the wide receivers could not make it tonight, so we'll go ahead and introduce a few of them, and then we'll keep talking a little bit about what our wide receiver core can do.
Yeah, I got Josh Lloyd, Ryan Reeves, Ryan Johnson, and Nick Morrow with us here tonight. And they've all played a part in the football team this year, whether that's in the game prep,
right,
JV, it doesn't matter. They all play a big part.
And it's huge because, even if they don't get a lot of playing time on Friday night, they're huge. You're needed during the week for preparation. And we've had, Coach Cook, you've had so many times this year that you've had to next man up mentality, because you never know who's going to play. You go from having close to 90 players on the roster every year, and then this year, you look out there and you see a handful of maybe 50, 40 players at the most, which is something that we're not used to seeing. But, of course, with the crazy season that we've had this year, depth is so important to have on a roster like this that we're so young. So a lot of these young men that might not be seeing a whole lot of time on Friday nights, you're just preparing them for future, next year and the year after. So tell us a little bit about, you got any up-and-coming wide receivers that we don't get to call a whole lot on Friday nights right now because, we call Kobe, of course, Kobe Tillman. Johnson's a phenomenal receiver. You got Josh Bardwell coming back. You got Mr. Lloyd here, who's always, we're calling his name quite a bit. Any young receivers coming up that are learning and kind of impressing you a little bit?
Yeah, well, we've got all these guys behind us. They all do a great job at practice. But not here tonight also is Aaron Kirkland, Dobinson, Caleb Dobinson, Donald Turner, Colton Aglinski. We have some guys. We actually had a JV freshman game last night, so getting to see those guys play, seeing what they can do.
That's awesome. That's so beneficial,
and letting them get work and, letting us run our plays, see how they do in those plays, and then seeing, getting them ready to move up to varsity.
Well, tell us a little bit about you, Coach. How long you been with the program and kind of your history in coaching?
This is my second year at Tioga. Last year I helped with running backs. This year they let me help with wide receivers. This is only my second year coaching football. So I'm very gracious for Coach Cook for letting me get on the staff especially, and it was a huge learning for me last year being with such a great game of football and progressing as a coach and as a person. So I'm very thankful for everything that's going on. and I'm very thankful for this opportunity that I've been given.
Yeah, and Coach Cook is a phenomenal mentor, for a lot of coaches. And to me, the biggest compliment to a coach is a staff turnover every year. To me, and it's rough on a head coach, of course.
I like to have less compliments.
Yeah, well, I can understand that. So. But when your staff is leaving pretty much every year, every other year, that just goes to show you what you learn and you pick up from a little bit here and there, and then they're moving on to, of course, so many coaches leaving.
Well, we have been blessed. We've been blessed to hire quality people like Coach Dufour here. We've got a couple guys on our staff now that could be head coaches anywhere in the state. And I've personally been exceedingly blessed. 5 of my coordinators throughout my head coaching career have left me to be a head coach. Yeah. Well, 4 have left me to be a head coach, and 1 the year after I was gone became a head coach. And you take a look at a young man like Coach Dufour. He does an excellent job. I'm not saying that because he sits here. I've told him that he was kind of a surprise to us. We didn't know him real well. But he came highly recommended just as a person. And I always tell people when it comes to coaching, you have to hire the person first. We can learn football. Football's the most irrelevant part of it. But if you don't hire a good man, well, then you're going to have a whole world of other problems. So that's what my personal recommendation to anybody out there that hires coaches. If you're the head coach or an AD somewhere, hire a great man. You can teach him how to coach the actual sport. And that's what Coach Dufour's done. He was a great athlete in high school, but he's come in, done an outstanding job in football, and he actually was asked to be the head soccer coach, and he did an outstanding job in that, and he didn't know a whole lot about it going into it, but he did his homework, and we were a couple points away from upsetting the team that later, I think, went to the semis or something like that. And I mean, it was he does an amazing job.
Well, my motto's always been high character coaches create high character students.
That's right.
And so I love that it works out great as far as if you teach them character, football will come later. You know what I mean, or all that kind of stuff here. But high character is so important. And so tell us a little bit. So you're also the head soccer coach too. So tell us about how that went this year. Tell us a little bit. We'll get a little plug into the soccer team too a little bit. We don't have the soccer. I mean, who knows? We might have the Coach Dufour soccer show here at Buckets.
That. I'll come eat fish for that any night of the week.
You could.
Yeah,
soccer's not, something I was real heavy into, but he said, I need you to do that. And so I said, yes, sir. And so I took it, and I've been blessed, especially last year we had a lot of seniors. So they helped me in coaching the sport and learning, and a lot of YouTube, a lot of research, a lot of coaches' videos, a lot of picking some of the people's brains.
But you heard what's the most important part of that story. He was asked to do something, and he just said, yes, sir. You can't ask your players to do that. You cannot ask your wide receivers like Josh behind us back here. He's been asked to not just be a slot, but he's been asked to be the outside receiver, and then sometimes he's asked to come in at tight end. You know what he says? He says, yes, sir. But he has a coach that's the same way.
Yes.
And your players are going to reflect you. Now, they're going to do some things you want to choke them about. Right? That's part
that's
of it.
Right. That's right.
Your personal children do that too, but you have a position coach who we asked him to move after he'd only coached running backs for 1 year. He never blinked. He just said, yes, sir. He does a great job with them. And that's just the way that he is. So Tioga High School is lucky to have Coach Dufour, and he's been a great mentor to these young guys.
And the moral of that story that I've saw is when your boss asks you to do something, you say yes, sir. So both of your wives are over there right now.
Right.
And that tells me that when the boss says something, it's yes, ma'am type scenarios.
That is correct.
That is also correct.
That is also correct. Little shout out to the wives over there.
That's right.
But so again, with the wide receivers coming in, and man, again, you're so deep. You have a ton of wide receiver depth this year. Out of all the positions, to me, from just the 5 games that I've got to watch this year, the wide receiver seems to be the deepest position that I've seen as far as talent all the way through. And you've got some seniors, and it goes all the way down to, like I said, Kirkland. He got to get out there the other week before last. I got to see him get out there a little bit,
game.
and the Pineville, yeah. And so, tell us. You came from last year, a lot of deep. Last year was very, very stout on the wide receivers as well. Tell us a little bit on how easy it is for you, Coach Dufour, to coach such a great group of young men that pretty much it makes it easy on you to be a coach because they're so talented.
Right. Well, and we've got Kobe Tillman and Josh Bardwell who you got to correct a little bit, not too much. And they can help you correct the other guys. They can also see the little things going on with the other guys that maybe you're looking here and they can look here, and they can lead and they can captain and they can be the seniors that they are. I know last year I got to spend a little bit of time with the wide receivers, and Coach Chrisman did a great job with them last year, and he's helped me out this year with them also. And Lily and Larry that we had last year, and Ethan Chrisman.
Right.
Great wide receivers last year, and I think that carries on into this year and setting a standard at Tioga of what the wide receiver group's going to look like. I think if you look at our wide receivers, that every year somebody new pops their head in, freshman-wise, sophomore-wise. It doesn't matter. There's a guy there that you see that that guy could be something. That guy could turn up to be something. And last year, if you really look at our wide receivers, I think we had 3 freshmen that you were like, they could be something. And Norris was a good wide receiver for us last year, Jacorian Norris.
And he moved over to the
he's moved now to defense. And so let's say something happens wide receiver-wise, you can always go and say, Norris, hey, look, we need you to come back. It just help us out here.
That's been the kind of the mantra this year for all this entire Tioga team is, you never know where you're going to be needed on the side. And we always talk about the tradition of Tioga football, mainly on the quarterback, because we've had the Logan DuBois for 4 years, then Blake McGehee for 4 years, and now Sellers comes in and 2 years. But we forget that those quarterbacks couldn't be what they were without the Justin DeVilles in that year. And then Kenneth Ravar comes in there, and then you have Lily comes in there, and then now you've got Kobe Tillman and you got all these Lloyd. I mean, all these.
We have a lot of names at those positions.
I'm telling you,
Corbin Malone.
I mean, look at me forgetting 17 there for just a second. Just so many good wide receivers over the years since Coach Cook was able to come in, and so we appreciate the wide receiver position. I promise you, a lot of attention goes to the quarterback position, rightfully so, because that's a lot of time he's your captain. But they can't do it without these wide receivers, so we appreciate that very much. And Coach Dufour, we appreciate your time. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and wrap it up with the final segment here in a few minutes. So we'll be right back on the Kevin Coker Show. Appreciate it.
If you are looking for the best seafood in Central Louisiana, then look no further than Buckets Crawfish and Seafood Restaurant, 111 Mary Hill Road in Pineville, right behind Chevron in Kingsville. Have you tried the seafood, Monica? What about the famous crawfish stingers? You can't go wrong with anything on the menu at Buckets in Pineville. Did I mention they're locally owned and operated? Not only do they have amazing food, but the atmosphere in the restaurant makes you feel comfortable as soon as you walk in the door. Need an order to go? 704-6186. Buckets Crawfish and Seafood Restaurant in Pineville.
Mom, Dad, the magician's here. Magician?
Oh, yeah. Honey, the magician's here.
Oh, right. Can I go watch? Sure.
Hi, Jimmy. Are you ready?
Boy, am I.
Okay. See that dirt, grime, and residue?
Yep.
Now you see it? No, you don't.
Wow, amazing!
Senla Power Wash. We offer house washing, shingle roof washing, and commercial washing services. Call 318-446-0838.
If you are looking for the best seafood in Central Louisiana, then look no further than Buckets Crawfish and Seafood Restaurant, 111 Mary Hill Road in Pineville, right behind Chevron in Kingsville. Have you tried the seafood, Monica? What about the famous crawfish stingers? You can't go wrong with anything on the menu at Buckets in Pineville. Did I mention they're locally owned and operated? Not only do they have amazing food, but the atmosphere in the restaurant makes you feel comfortable as soon as you walk in the door. Need an order to go? 704-6186. Buckets Crawfish and Seafood Restaurant in Pineville.
This is Ty Eastman, loan officer with First South Farm Credit here in Alexandria. Are you in the market for land? Whether it's for hunting, recreation, or a timber tract, you need a lender with experience in financing rural real estate. At First South, we understand what it means to own your own piece of land, whether it's a hunting camp or just a place to get away on the weekend. The best part of my job is seeing our members realize their dream of land ownership. If you're thinking of buying or refinancing land, call me, Ty Eastman, at First South Farm Credit, or visit us at firstsouthland.com.
Wanting tires? They got them. Triple T Tire in Pineville is the place to go for all size tires. That's right. Everything from lawnmowers, four-wheelers, ATVs, cars, trucks, and 18-wheelers. They've got them all. Get on down to 3786 Old Marshville Highway in Pineville or call them at 318-487-2012. Triple T Tires are proud supporters of local high school football. So for a limited time, say the keyword football when you get there and get $10 off any size tire mounts. Triple T Tires, home of those sexy tires.
Real Deal Marine in Pineville is Louisiana's #1 spot for all your boating needs. Come on down to 1715 Monroe Highway in Pineville and be amazed at everything Real Deal Marine has to offer. Locally owned and operated, Real Deal Marine is proud supporters of local high school sports in Central Louisiana. You can reach us at 318-487-4886 or follow us on our Facebook page. When you think of marine dealerships, the only name that should come to mind is Real Deal Marine.
And welcome back, everybody, here at beautiful Buckets. I'm telling you, here in Pineville, packed house in there, in the coach's room right here. That's which cool. I don't know if we can get a little scroll. I don't know if we can do that or not, but I don't want to mess up our production. You know, I'm putting him on the spot right here, but Chuck Perkins has just been lights out. We got a packed house in here already. We've got people outside as well that didn't want to come inside here. But we appreciate everybody for coming out to Buckets. This is Billy French. This is 104.3 The Bridge, Kevin Cook Coach's Show, and we're here every week from 6 to 7. So please, if you get a chance to come out here, just bring your Tioga hats. You don't have to be on TV. You don't have to talk or nothing. Just come support the Tioga football program. And we appreciate Wes and Brandon here at Buckets. And, Coach, we're going to talk a little bit about some injuries and kind of expect. And then we're going to also bring up in the last segment, because we're just moving along so good tonight. Everything's kind of going quick. We'll bring in the last segment. We'll talk a little bit about further on the schedule, kind of what they'll be looking forward to on a couple other district opponents that we're going to face. But coming into this week here, can you give us a little update on some injuries or what to expect, maybe somebody that's not going to be able to make it or anything this week?
Well, I think, injury-wise, I think we're as healthy as we've ever been. We still have the one defensive lineman, but he hasn't gotten to play yet. I look for him to get to play next week, kind of get him reinitiated to football versus Bolton. Yep. But, other than that, unless something happens between now and then, which we're praying that it doesn't, we should be healthy. Healthy as we were last week.
Perfect timing coming into district, because this is where it really counts. And we're not used to the 1-4 record by any means. Of course, this has been we knew this was going to be a struggle this year, of course, when you have such young talent coming up. You lose 20 starters, from last year. And of course, the 1-4 record does not dictate how great these young men have played, how hard they've played coming into this. But normally around this time, we're in the top 8 to top 9 in the standings as far as power ratings, looking at home games. So the only thing going into this, my mindset when I was thinking about it was, you know what? A number 1 through 9 seed, because right now we're around, from what I looked at, like 25 and back, kind of fluctuating 25, 26, 27.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very, very tough game for a 1 through 7 seed when they face this Tioga team in the playoffs, if we can't move up, quite up a little bit more.
And I told somebody, we were talking about it today, years ago, we went in, another school I was the head coach of, we went in as a 7 seed and actually got upset by the 26, and they rode all the way through to the quarter semifinals. And when you look at the kind of like that mid-20s range, and really you don't want to be 24, or you really want to be 26, 27, right. 28. I'm sorry, I said that backward. You don't want to be lower than 26. You want to be further up, like 26, 25, 24. That's not a bad place to go in.
Right.
You got to pull the one upset the first week.
Then you get a home game.
Then you get a home game, and you get a very more accommodating matchup in that second round. Well, then then you don't know about the third round. But it's not a bad place to be. At the end of the day, though, those things don't really mean anything as much as it just. You have to do your best to win every ball game that you can. Wherever all that math ends up, that's just where it ends up.
Yeah, and of course you always look and just see where I could go. And as well as I do, it seemed like it's been a Tioga tradition to, at some point in the playoffs, we make a trip down to New Orleans. Yeah. So we want to definitely avoid that. Not that we're scared of anybody in New Orleans. We just don't want to make that trip.
Well, it's a terrible trip, number one. Now, it's not as bad as the South Lafourche trip we made several years ago.
I remember that one.
That's 5.5 hours on the bus one way. And so it was now, look, but when you talk to that graduating class from last year, that was their favorite trip. That was their favorite game. South Lafourche was like, 11 hours on the bus was your favorite?
No air conditioner, but we already talked about.
So, But no, we're excited about where we are, and I'm just gonna say it like this: like there's absolutely not one part of me that's worried at all about where we're at. I don't think any of our coaches are worried about where we're at. I don't think we're worried about the 1-4 part of it. We're not worried about any of it. We have a lot of confidence in our players. I have a lot of confidence in our coaches. And, if we could be blessed to be healthy, then I think we have every opportunity to make a deep run in the playoffs, no matter where we launch from.
Absolutely, and we're in a prime position. We're coming into district play. We're really healthy. We're going to get this offense clicking. We're going to be scoring. And, so, I mean, again, we might be 25 now, but who's to say that in 4 weeks from now we don't jump all the way up and whatever.
Oh, you can climb the ladder quite a bit. A lot of strange things will start happening now that districts are playing and people are kind of knocking each other off.
Right.
But the reality is the Lord's blessed us, and we've been the underdog 3 times in the playoffs, and 2 of those 3 times we've won. We've upset somebody in the first round,
right,
and then got that second round home game. So, if we have to get on the bus on the first round, well, Lord, we've been on the bus all year. It doesn't make any difference to our kids.
This whole season has been preparation for this playoff run, I'm telling you.
We're prepared to ride the bus. So.
Yeah, it's just been great. And of course, because I love the procedures that y'all have in place that works. I mean, there's no doubt that what y'all do works. Y'all are the staple right now. Y'all are the standard on the COVID protocols, and it's worked out great for this Tioga program. And so just going into to this week, of course, with Peabody and Coach Hall and everything. So the fields over there, because we're so used to this turf. And we love our turf fields. We've been blessed to have turf fields for softball, for baseball. I mean, we have great facilities. Is there something equipment-wise that we have to make an adjustment for this kind of a grass field that we're going to be coming into?
No, back in the day, me and you were in high school. You had the screw-in cleats, and you would just change the length of that screw-in cleat. But nowadays with a cleat tech, I know that sounds funny, but cleat technology, the moldings that they have, and what they have, the gloves are unbelievable. The technology in the gloves, anybody can catch a ball. It seems like, maybe not me, of course, but no, I think all that's fine. One of the things we were blessed with last year was they built us a brand new grass practice field, so we're able to get out there and really change it up and get out there onto the grass and be sure that we're used to being on it. Be used to our receivers are used to making a cut on the grass. Be sure that our DBs are used to, tempoing and then readjusting and shifting and just doing and snapping the football on the grass. Obviously, the snap of the ball for your deep snappers and for your center, a lot different than a turf field. So we've been very blessed by our community to vote, to allow us to have these kind of things. And it's a beautiful grass practice field that Coach Chrisman takes a lot of pride in, and I personally have a lot of pride in it too, because when you're given a nice gift, you should take care of it.
Yeah, and so many schools around this area, and I mean, I won't say any names or anything, but they're not as blessed as this Tioga squad is. I mean, we not only do we have the beautiful turf, so we have that, so we don't have to worry about too much of a wet nights, on that end. But you have the practice facility that'll allow you to be prepared for a different type of venue that we're going to. You have all the support from this, the Tioga community is huge, huge. This is a football school and a baseball school.
Right.
Now, for years, brother, it was a baseball school for years, but when you came in, you've just kind of set a standard to where now, I mean, it's a packed house every night. The expectation, not to throw a little bit towards my son, they have a little saying at Southern. It's called Southern is the standard, and to me, Tioga is the standard now here in this central Louisiana, and we appreciate everything you do. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back for the final segment here on the Kevin Cook Coaches Show. I'm Billy French. This is 104.3 The Bridge.
Marine in Pineville is Louisiana's #1 spot for all your boating needs. Come on down to 1715 Monroe Highway in Pineville and be amazed at everything Real Deal Marine has to offer. Locally owned and operated, Real Deal Marine is proud supporters of local high school sports in central Louisiana. You can reach us at 318-487-4886 or follow us on our Facebook page. When you think of marine dealerships, the only name that should come to mind is Real Deal Marine.
One Tires, big
got them. Triple T Tire in Pineville is the place to go for all size tires. That's right. Everything from lawnmowers, four-wheelers, ATVs, cars, trucks, and 18-wheelers. We've got them all. Get on down to 3786 Old Marshville Highway in Pineville or call them at 318-487-2012. Triple T Tires are proud supporters of local high school football. For a limited time, say the keyword football when you get there and get $10 off any size tire mounts. Triple T Tires, home of those sexy tires. So, your transmission is kaput. Time to get a new or a new-to-you vehicle? Wrong. Certified Transmission can fix your transmission problems and preserve your investment in your vehicle. Certified Transmission will also save you the hassle of trying to find a good vehicle that you can afford without a good trade-in, because most car dealers are not going to want to accept your vehicle in trade. So, having Certified Transmission fix your vehicle is the best option of getting back on the road in a vehicle you can trust. Go where you know. Certified Transmission on the Monroe Highway in Ball. Did you know BK Distributors have the fastest signs in town? They have signs for everything. If you're in need of signs or banners for your political campaign, your business, or just for that family reunion, BK Distributors has it all, with outstanding quality, fast turnaround, and the best prices in town. If you've been looking for the right place to handle your signage needs, well, here's your sign. Call Scott today, 318-442-2246, and let him help you. BK Distributors, Highway 28 East in Pineville, behind Arby's.
This is Nikki Chandler, loan officer with First South Farm Credit here in Alexandria. Are you looking for land out in the country to build your dream home? Then you need a lender who specializes in financing rural land. At First South, we've helped so many of our members who wanted to buy that small tract of land away from the city. As your loan officer, I'm there from application all the way to the closing table. Building that relationship is the best part of what we do. If you're thinking of buying or refinancing land, call me, Nikki Chandler, at First South Farm Credit, or visit us at firstsouthland.com.
If you are looking for the best seafood in Central Louisiana, then look no further than Buckets Crawfish and Seafood Restaurant, 111 Mary Hill Road in Pineville, right behind Chevron in Kingsville. Have you tried the seafood, Monica? What about the famous crawfish stingers? You can't go wrong with anything on the menu at Buckets in Pineville. Mention they're locally owned and operated. Not only do they have amazing food, but the atmosphere in the restaurant makes you feel comfortable as soon as you walk in the door. Need an order to go? 704-6186. Buckets Crawfish and Seafood Restaurant in Pineville.
And welcome back, everybody. Here we are coming into the final few minutes of the Kevin Cook Coaches Show here from Buckets. We are live from Buckets here in Pineville. So if you get a chance, come on out. And, Coach, we're going to kind of finish off the evening. And, of course, you know, this is Billy French. Scott Mills could not be here tonight. He is sick. So we just wanted to – prayers go out to Scott. Hopefully he'll get better. He told me earlier, he said, I will be there Friday night. So he's going to be there Friday night at Peabody. And, Coach, if you wouldn't mind, if you have any new news on the new press box, which, of course, us broadcasters, we love press boxes. Yeah, you know, there's comfortable with internet access and all that. So have you heard anything new about the press box coming in?
Yeah, I think we're going to actually be able to finish the regular season with our press box. You know, they had to push the delivery date back for the new one, which pushed the demo back. So we called it the other day and said, well, look, if you'll push that demo date back just a couple of days, we could finish the regular season, have senior night, and without any hiccups or problems. And so everything's on schedule for that. It's really going to be nice once it gets here. And you know, I guess since we kind of talked about it earlier, soccer will actually be the first people that get to use it.
Oh, so Coach Dufour and the head soccer coach will be the one to get to enjoy the press box.
Correct. So he'll get first shot at it. But no, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a larger version of what we have, and obviously have all the electrical hookups
the internet
that we need.
Is main.
It would seem like every Friday somebody's asking about where this is. But
I bet you get tired of hearing that, brother, because every week, hey, you don't have internet hookup. You don't have internet.
Correct.
Well, look, I'm the head coach. I'm not the one that says you have to.
I don't ever go to the press box. I think it's a very common misconception. The head coach never goes to the press box.
Right, you're always down on the field.
Right.
Well, so we appreciate that. So we'll probably get to enjoy that. Maybe will that be here for postseason? Possibly, if we have a home game for postseason.
I don't know that they'll have it finished for the postseason.
Okay, so we'll unveil it for next year.
Correct.
Okay, well that's great. That's still, you know, look, we're excited. We just appreciate the fact that we have a spot in the press box, and we appreciate all y'all do for us. Also, going in, y'all mentioned earlier, Coach Dufour did. We had a JV game. Was that yesterday?
Sure, Monday.
Monday. Yes. So was there anything promising on that JV front as far as talent?
We have a lot of talent in that group. You know, we have our young quarterback, Coach Gatlin, and it's one of his relatives, oddly enough.
Yeah,
so,
I noticed it in the namesake. I was like, oh, hold up now.
So we call him Mini Gat, and he has a great arm. He does a good job.
Lefty.
Is it lefty?
Yeah.
Which would be my first time to have a lefty in my 20 years of coaching.
Come on.
Enough. So it'd be interesting. But, I think we have a phenomenal young running back in the Adams boy. I think he's going to be very special and run for a lot of yards at Tioga High School. There's plenty, like we talked about earlier, that receiving core is just as good as they've ever been.
Kirtland, I'm very impressed with him. Yeah.
We do have some size, and I saw one or two of our young JV linemen come in here tonight to just kind of fellowship with the receivers and be with everybody. And they probably hammered down a lot of fish. So
look,
you probably had to catch a few extra.
I made mention to Wes, the owner here of Buckets, and I said, look, you told me your platter feeds 10 people. But it doesn't feed 4 linemen.
No, that's correct.
So you need to change your standard up on this stuff because it's not working. But
I think that meant 4 housewives.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Or 10 housewives, 4 linemen.
Because them 4 linemen put away about 10 people's worth of fish in a matter of 10 minutes last week. So.
They did.
But that's going to do it for us tonight. And, Coach, we appreciate you coming in and always being thorough on everything that you say. We appreciate the leadership that you lead here for this young men every year. Appreciate all that you do for the Central Louisiana, but not just Central. We appreciate the community on how you build great young men and make better character. And personally, I know I probably say this a lot, but you're the reason to me that my son is playing college ball because of the character that you made. And he was a very good kid, but you just took him to a whole nother level, and I really appreciate that. And so that's going to do it for us tonight. And just want to say real quick, a good friend of ours tonight, and if you listen to the radio, you know Hollywood Harrison. And Hollywood passed away this morning, so we want to send our prayers to the family for Hollywood. We love him. He had the best voice in Central Louisiana, without question. Love Hollywood. Got a chance to work with him for the last year. And just say, if I needed something, Hollywood was on top of it. Just no. And so we appreciate everything that he did. We love that man very, very much. And condolences to his family. So that's going to do it for us tonight here. This is Billy French on 104.3. So we appreciate y'all, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.